Hey Taxi is excited to bring you another amazing author from our book, The Entrepreneur's Toolkit for Success, interviewed by our very own Dawn Cermak.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited to be here with Beth Kive today, one of our leading authors for the Entrepreneur's Toolkit for Success, which we put together. We're really excited about this. We put it together to bring you all of our authors, their zones of genius, their tips for success, and how they've become successful in their own business and what they can share with you. So Beth,
yes,
her business is called Nomadic Cowgirl. Okay, now we need to know, what is the story behind Nomadic Cowgirl?
so I ended up buying a travel trailer and taking it across the country with my daughter. And in the process, I decided that was a great time to build my own business. And I was trying to figure out what exactly to name my business. I wanted it to reflect everything that is me. And we were in the middle of the country, so nomadic made sense. And then I was born and raised on horses and continue to this day to work with a bunch of horses. So naturally, I'm a cowgirl. So
I love it. That the name attracted me from the very start. I love the name of it. It's different and it's unique. And who doesn't want to hang out with a cowgirl, right?
We work hard. I mean, yeah.
So tell us a little. So you took this trip, and I believe that your daughter's in a wheelchair, right?
That is correct.
So that was quite an adventure, just the two of you.
Yeah. So we left a horrible marriage. I was the one that was married, left a horrible marriage, and my daughter ended up having a series of 4 brain surgeries in a year. So I did what any rational single mom would do, and I bought a travel trailer and I gutted it and I took it across the country with my kid.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
It was the best healing trip that I could have ever given myself and my child. And we found out what we were made of on that trip. And
what was the highlight? Like, what was your favorite place you visited, or your favorite experience, or top 3 if you can't pick one?
I know, right? Enchanted Highway in North Dakota. It is out in the middle of nothing. It just so happened to be my daughter's 18th birthday. And we hit the Enchanted Highway. And to my understanding, it's some guy that just builds all these massive structures on this just one road out in the middle of a bunch of cornfields. And it's amazing. So you'll stop at one and it's these huge wooden horses and a wagon behind it that you can climb all around. You get to the next one and it's all these metal like grasshoppers. And it'll range from a few feet big to like so big you can't even get on them. And we had a blast, like driving down the road, and a couple miles down, they're like, there's the next one, and pull off and you have no idea what you're getting into. It was amazing.
Oh, that sounds like something that needs to be on my bucket list. I'd never heard of it. And I've traveled quite a bit in the country and out of the country. I've never heard of it.
Enchanted Highway, North Dakota. And you can see the bison while you're there too. My like spirit animal. So
that's awesome. So you have some guts.
Maybe a few. Yeah.
Maybe a few. And so you are, the other thing that attracted me to you is, and if you read Beth's chapter in her book, she talks about being a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
Which is not a bad thing. I also am a serial entrepreneur. I've actually been an entrepreneur for 32 years, and I'm on businesses 9, 10, and 11. And it's not that I didn't succeed and went to another one and didn't succeed, but 32 years is plenty of time to have businesses 9, 10, and 11. But what you discovered, and I think it's a passion that we share, is the part that you really like.
Yes.
Is the launch phase, is the startup phase. It's putting it all together, putting all the pieces together, right? So tell me a little bit about that. What are the pieces that you like about starting a business and setting that foundation?
I've always been very creative. It's just the excitement and the creativity to make something new. And I love watching people push past their own boundaries into more than they could have even imagined for themselves. And that first time they actually realize that their dream is starting to come true, you can't put a price tag on that. And watching that and watching it over and over again from people is what lights the fire inside of me. And I get to pitch all these different ideas. And, well, have you thought of this? Have you thought of this? And they're like, oh, no, I haven't. And you see the light bulb go on, and there's just nothing better.
Because sometimes it's easier for an outsider
Yes.
to come in and look
Thick
at
of it,
everything. Huh?
yeah. If you're in the thick of it, it's really hard to see.
So you started, after doing a lot of your own businesses, you started Nomadic Cowgirl, which is a business that focuses on helping businesses launch, putting systems in place, and again, getting those basics done. Like, I love your tips for success. I know we're going out of order, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Beth and I have spent some time together already today. And so here's her tips. If you haven't read her chapter, which you absolutely should, here's her tips. This is my favorite one, just right out of the gate. One of the biggest heartaches I see is business owners setting up and launching their business with a personal phone number and email address. And so she goes on to tell you how you can avoid doing that. Talks about the critical need for professional photos, professional headshots, and lifestyle photos for your website. I mean, how many of us are so sick of the canned photos from Canva that we see everywhere on every single website? It was one of the things we did when we went to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for our business mastermind. I said, we need all new shots of women working together. I am so tired of seeing those Canva images that everybody uses, right? So tell us about some of the businesses that you've launched.
I've done some MLMs. So like Mary Kay, I did Mary Kay for a while. I actually did sex toys for a while, thinking that that would be entertaining enough for me to keep going. And I helped start up a bunch of businesses for my friends as well. And everything I ever started up, it was great to start up. I started it successfully. I had a great marketing campaign. Everything was going wonderfully. And then I got bored. And that's when things fizzle. But I've started up many therapy businesses. I have a background in occupational therapy. So as being a therapist, and I started up a nonprofit where I worked with horses. And as a therapist, I would put special needs kids on the horse. And that's where I did my therapy session. So I ended up co-finding a barn where we actually hosted those therapy treatments. So I've a lot of very random out of the box businesses that I did.
Well, I know you're also involved with a lot of nonprofit organizations.
Yeah. I have founded quite a few.
Why is that? I think when I first met you, you told me about 4 different nonprofits that you were involved with.
Still am. I still am. Yeah. I think 4, maybe 5 now. But yeah, I love nonprofits. If you're in a nonprofit, you're not there for the money by any means. You're there because you have a heart and passion, and you so truly believe in what you have to offer the world. And those people are amazing and inspiring, and they do not stop until they get to where they want to be. They have that innate motivation and drive. And those are the people I want to support. Those are the people I want to surround myself with.
You know, they're out there changing the world, but they can't do it by themselves.
No.
And they need, and for a lot of those people, they're willing to be the face of and the voice of, but they need all of that support, right?
Exactly. They have the passion. They don't necessarily have the business mindset or the how-to or the ability to make sure they've created the solid foundation that they can launch from and that they're protected.
So have you brought a lot of that business know-how to the nonprofits and the nonprofit boards that you work with?
Most definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I love working with all of them. I'm a healthcare director for one board right now called Golden Roller Skates. And then I'm the vice president for another nonprofit that's called Majors Brigade. And Majors Brigade, we're starting from the ground up, and Golden Roller Skates they've been around for about a year, but they just officially launched. So being able to help both of them make sure that they're in a good place and their mission's being heard and getting out to all the right audiences and getting the right support behind them has just been amazing.
And what is Golden Roller Skates?
Golden Roller Skates works with the 55 plus community, and it helps them have fun and live life. So kind of, I think of it as Make-A-Wish for adults. If they have some bucket list item, they will help them make that bucket list item come true. And then they also have a separate program in there. One of the founders, after her loved one left our earth, she didn't have any videography of her aunt telling stories. And all of that like time capsule was missed. She forgot what her voice sounds like. She forgot how she slicked her hair. And so they created a program to capture those moments and capture those stories and the essence of a person before they pass on. And they don't have to be critically ill to participate in these programs, but I think it's just there's such a huge need out there for that.
So there's the golden roller skates, the major brigade, the horse therapy, right?
Yeah. Yep. That Majors Brigade does the horse therapy part too. They're going to be working with veterans and special needs kids based with horses. So yeah.
Well, you're a busy lady.
Just a little bit. I don't like to sit still.
So time management must be one of your strengths, right?
Definitely. I'm very organized.
You would have to be. I really don't know how you do it all, but you do it all and you do it well. And that's another thing that you can help entrepreneurs with, right? Because we're all busy. Yeah. And female entrepreneurs, especially, I think, wear a lot of different hats. A lot of us wear the mom hat. We wear the spouse hat. We wear the got to take care of my house hat. We wear the gardening hat. And we wear what's for dinner, like the chef hat and the chauffeur hat and the sales hat and marketing and AP and AR and PR and
all the
CEO
things.
And all the things.
Yeah.
And so what we talk about in Entrepreneurs Toolkit for Success and what we tell female entrepreneurs is find that one thing that you're really good at. Mm-hmm. Discover your superpower, identify your zone of genius, and stay the more time you can spend in that zone of genius and outsource everything else, the more profitable and the more happy you're going to be in the long run. And so Beth is somebody that you can work with to get all of those pieces handled, because as female entrepreneurs, as a general rule, right? We are mission driven, we're heart centered, we want to make a difference, we want to make an impact, we want to live our life with purpose.
Yes.
Do we want to balance our books? Not so much. Do we want to figure out how to incorporate in the state that we live in? Do we want to know what all the specific rules are? Do we want to know, how to maximize the tax benefit? Well, you should know how to maximize the tax benefit, but do we want to keep track of all that and figure all that out? Do we want to be our own CPA? Absolutely not. No. All of those things. And that's so when we're telling female entrepreneurs, stay in your zone of genius, outsource everything else, some of those things can be outsourced to Beth, right? Sure.
Yep.
Because you can step in. Tell us, give me an example of stepping in and helping out a business. Tell me about the business that you helped, the friend that you helped that had the horses and the therapy.
So with that business, I stepped in and I just dug deep and I really got to know the business and found out where their problems were. I started poking holes in all their systems. And through that, I was able to automate so much of it. And I made a bunch of online forms for them. I built them a new website so that people could come. They were channeled to the right person. It wasn't everybody in one cluttered inbox and everybody was trying to, find their relevant emails for themselves. Did a whole client onboarding process, a whole volunteer onboarding process, a volunteer management system, a horse training schedule, you name it. Like I got to know their needs and figured out how I could streamline and automate as much as possible so that it didn't land in the human hour zone. They had time freed up for their passion and took away some of that like paperwork administrative time that is not their specialty. That's not what they wanted to be doing.
I think every business needs a Beth. I do. I really do.
Efficiency. Yeah.
Well, because a lot of times, what do? We just keep doing. We don't have time to figure out the system. We don't have time to look at new technology. We don't have time to look at apps and look at software and figure out which one we should be using. Mm-hmm. So we keep doing it manually.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And yes, there's some truth to that. But if you can make it better, more efficient and work for you, then why not?
And so I like, so one of your tips was the photo shoot. One of your tips was don't use your own personal phone number and email for a variety of reasons that you get into. Another tip that you gave, because I know you do a lot of marketing for different businesses that you work with, is choose your platforms wisely.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Pinterest, for example, if you want to play the game of Pinterest, you have to be ready to bring new content several times a day and post it. And I don't know about everybody else, but I don't have the time for that. If I'm in a business where I'm looking for other professionals, I might want to be on LinkedIn. If I'm a business looking for other businesses, I probably want to check out Alignable. If I have the younger generation, that's where you get on TikTok, which, disclaimer, I know absolutely nothing about. I go to my teenager for TikTok help. So, but I see so many people coming out and they want to do everything. They want to be everywhere and reach as many people as they can. But if it's not the right audience for you, are you just wasting your time? Probably. So making sure that you have the right audience on the right platform.
And to your point, if you try to do them all, you'll probably do none of them well.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your recommendation? Pick 2, pick 3, how many platforms?
I mean, it really, really depends on your audience, but I don't think I've ever seen a business need to be on more than 3 platforms. And most of the time too is plenty.
I agree. I'm not an Instagram girl. I know, gasp, but I'm, certainly not a TikTok girl. I focus on Facebook and LinkedIn because that makes the most sense to me. That's where business people hang out. I'm a business person. I always have been. And on LinkedIn and Facebook is, I have a crazy family that does crazy things all the time. I think I have 3,000 I don't even know how many friends on Facebook, and it's just a natural place for me.
Yeah.
And
you're going to be more effective there than you are anywhere else because it's your natural zone.
Yeah. And because I like the written word. So Instagram is more photo oriented. Facebook, you can communicate more information, I think, share verbiage wise. And so, but you got to pick what works for you. And you're probably going to be more effective if you actually like the platform. If you love Instagram, you're probably going to be more effective. You're probably going to learn more about it, right? Definitely.
You're going to be on there. You're going to be playing the algorithm and you're going to be successful. But if I got to get on there again, like that's not a good vibe to throw out there.
So tip number 4 was protect your time.
Yes.
Now, as a mother of a daughter who's in a wheelchair, who also helps take care of her parents, who, as you heard, is involved in, she thinks, more than 4 nonprofits and helping numerous businesses launch, as well as running her own business. To do all of that successfully, you have to manage your time and you have to protect your time. We had a conversation earlier about you making self-care a priority.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I let self-care go by the wayside and I had a nice little burnout. And, you either take care of yourself now or you take care of yourself when you're sick in bed. Those are your choices. It's not if, it's when. You can't be on the go all the time, and you can float and go in autopilot and survival mode for a while, but that you're not doing anybody any good at that point. You have to put yourself as a number 1 priority.
Well, I think our viewers can relate because I imagine that every single female entrepreneur for sure at one point or another has hit that wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Unless starting up a new business takes a lot of your time, or relaunching your business, or whatever phase you are in. And if you don't protect time for yourself and you don't protect time for your family, what is that going to do to your marriage, your kids? Is that the reflection you want to give your kids too? Should I be burning myself out? Is that what I want to teach my kid, is to burn herself out? No, I want to take care of myself first. So when she grows up, well, she's already an adult, but when she gets older, that she takes care of herself first, because that's what truly matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think my kids have sworn none of them are ever going to be an entrepreneur. They're like, we don't want to do what you did. You work 24/7. And I did for many, many years, 24/7.
Yeah.
I would wait to, a lot of moms who have littles, we wait till they go to bed at night to be able to actually get our work done. So my prime work time was 10 till 2 in the morning.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then get up and do it again and get up and do it again. Does it make you the best mom? Probably not.
No, definitely not. Yeah, we actually, Dawn and I attended a conference together, and it was Stop Waiting, Start Living. And I walked in the first day, got my face painted. I was blowing bubbles. We were playing games. And one of the traditions that I brought out of that was I have this giant basket full of games. And yeah, my kid's 20, but we play Go Fish and Old Maid, and we blow bubbles. And I bought a balloon making kit. Oh, let me tell you, that was fun. Coloring book night. Yeah, it's great. Once a week. Once a week is what we strive for. With the holidays that got disrupted a little bit, but yeah, once a week we just have.
You guys have date night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do.
But with bubbles.
Yeah, with bubbles, and yeah, I still have a beach ball that every chance I get, it just kind of floats around the room. Every chance I get when she's not looking, I peg it at her, and she does the same to me. It's great.
That is awesome. And so, I mean, how many of you would like Beth to come in and do some streamlining, some automating, some calendaring, some systematizing?
All the above.
Right. So what is your favorite thing that you like about what you do? We've already talked about what makes you uniquely you, besides the name Nomadic Cowgirl and all of the things that you specialize in. But what lights you up?
The people, getting to know everybody and all the businesses. I've learned about towing. I've learned from other therapists. I've just learned so much. I've been in some body sculpting businesses too, where I've helped them out. It's amazing what's out there. And some of it still even makes me blush, but it's so great to get to know the people and get to hear why they're doing what they're doing and what their goal is. Just that is where I want to be, is helping behind the scenes, helping people do everything they want to achieve and more, and just getting to know them.
So how can people connect with you, Beth?
So many different ways. I am on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two places I tend to hang out most, at Nomadic Cowgirl. And also my website is allthingsbeth.com. And that leads you to all the things I'm doing. That is why it's All Things Beth. But Nomadic Cowgirl is my bread and butter, my heart and soul.
And do you have any special offers for our attendees today that are listening to this video?
I do. It's my offer that's in the book as well. You can come and schedule a session with me, and we can do like a brainstorming session and figure out how to build that solid foundation for you so you can launch successfully. Or if you are already out there, I will go ahead and do like a deep dive basically into your online presence and see where you can kind of go in and improve things and make sure things are consistent.
It's exciting. Why wouldn't you take Beth up on that? A free audit of your social media to see what could be better. Like,
exactly.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah. And where you're at on your Google business page, and I'll do the whole online deal.
Thank you so much for coming and meeting with us today and telling us a little about Nomadic Cowgirl and your life.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I hope everybody will read Beth's chapter. It's amazing. It's like it was a lot of fun to read, and her tips were very hands-on, as we talked about here. They weren't pie in the sky. They weren't unattainable. They were very hands-on. And if you follow her tips, if you haven't done those things already, it's going to help you in your business. So I highly encourage you to reach out to Beth and schedule that free call. Like, why wouldn't you, again, and find out how Nomadic Cowgirl and Beth can help you and your business to take your business to the next level.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Ready to level up in your own business? Visit us at www.heytaxiacademy.com and discover all the tools, training, and other go-to resources for mission-driven female entrepreneurs.